Hello and welcome to my channel, Inspiring Life Changes. My name is Colette and I'm here today to do the reading for this Gemini new moon that is taking place on the 30th of May. So it's actually happening today while I'm speaking. So this is the first part of my two-part series. I do the tarot reading or the astrology first, but today I'm doing the tarot part of the reading first, and I will follow it up with the astrology later today. So thank you very much to those of you who have come over to see what it's all about and pressed play and want to know more about my channel and what it is that I do. I am a tarot reader with over 30 years experience, and I've also been interested in astrology since I was about 11-12 years old when I first kind of started diving into it. So it's been with me for quite a huge percentage of my life, shall we say. And the tarot cards came into my life when I was about 17 as well. So I was always drawn to that kind of more metaphysical side of life. So with all that being said, for those of you who have come across for the first time, thank you very much and welcome. The reading itself, I'm going to start off with an angel script card for us. So I will start shuffling these to see what angel it is that wants to work with us during this 2-week period of this Gemini new moon. This is the, interestingly, I'm going to take that one because it kind of fell out. Interestingly, as I was saying, this is the third moon that we've had during May. So it's the second new moon in May, which is quite unusual. Quite a rare event to have 3 moons all in the same month. And it's a very, what's the word I could use? I could use words like intense, because moons are always intense when they're full or when they're new. But this moon is an interesting new moon because it's got a lot of behind the scenes energies that are taking place. And if you're interested in finding out more about that, then the astrology video will be up after I've done this one, as I said, and that's really where the astrology side of this will come in. So the cards that you see behind me are the Mercury card, the Gemini card itself, which is all about the mind and thinking, Mercury card, which is all about the communication, and the third house, which is Gemini house, is the third house. So again, it's to do with communication and the mind, education, media, that covers that kind of thing. And the last card there is the element of air, because Gemini is a air ruled sign. So maybe I should have taken that card earlier because it definitely doesn't seem to want to come out now. So for this new moon, what is the energy for this new moon in Gemini? I'm going to take this one. We have Raphael, who I believe we've had before. Maybe last time as well, during the Scorpio full moon. It seems to ring a bell. Raphael is all about healing, and healing is a big thing at this time. We're still in the energies of both the lunar eclipse of Scorpio and before then the solar eclipse of Taurus, which are going to take us right the way through until October and November, and even into 2023 as well, because it's going to have such huge knock-on effects, as I've said previously. So Raphael is the divine physician. So I'll just bring it back and let you have another look at it. The divine physician who brings comfort and healing to those who are lost on their path. Its task is to reassure and bring us back into harmony when we are unsettled and perplexed. Raphael brings understanding and cleansing of the heart, so that we move forward refreshed. It allows us to take our rest and dress our wounds. It soothes pain and anoints the troubled brow with the elixir of life. Raphael casts our negativity, holds our hands, and patiently encourages us in our purpose. When we are weary from travelling and feel that our intentions have been thwarted, Raphael is able to cast out doubt and renew hope. Often we find ourselves on a path which seems to lead nowhere. We may see the same landmarks time and again and feel we cannot move forward. Raphael comes to support us and offer us fresh insights. And I think there's been a lot of that over these last 2 years, feeling as though we're going over the same old ground and getting nowhere. So Raphael's purpose is to encourage growth and create the new by realigning us. To this end, Raphael may be instrumental in the bringing together of souls who need to be united in a common purpose. Raphael presides over weddings and blesses the bride and groom. In order to maintain the creative vision, the divine continually seeks equilibrium. The manifest world requires a flowing in and out, up and down of opposing energies. Sometimes the smoothly running river becomes a choppy sea. Raphael pours oil on the waters so that they settle into an even pattern of ebb and flow. Raphael reconciles and brings all things back to grace. So a beautiful card, Raphael, healing, divine union. So the cards that I'm using today, I've actually realised I've been kind of using these decks for myself when I've been doing my own readings. It's 2 decks that I've put together. So interestingly, I was thinking earlier about the Gemini energy as well, being duality, being 2. So it was after I'd actually decided I was going to use this deck that I suddenly realised, oh, it's kind of like the Gemini energy. So you're going to see 2 sets of cards within this reading today. And I'm going to start the reading off, and I will apologise as well if my throat's feeling a bit, or sounding, should I say, a bit raspy. I have been suffering from a really sore throat since last Tuesday when I came back from being away for about 5 days. So I'm still in the process of kind of just healing my throat. So, which is interesting because communication, Gemini, new moon is all about communication and speaking as it is, saying it as we feel it. So throat chakra as well, very much throat chakra, voice orientated energy. And we're starting the reading off here with the 7 of chalices in reverse. So this is our challenge at this time, 7 of chalices. And the 7 of chalices can be quite a confusing card in itself, because there can be so many options and so many choices that we don't really know what it is that we need to be doing or how to do it, what it is that we actually want out of life. Many of us could have got to a point in our life where we're feeling like we need to maybe make change, but it is in reverse as well. So at this time with Mercury retrograde as well, that is another thing as well. Gemini is ruled by the Mercury energy and it is retrograde in Taurus at this time. So making decisions about anything at this time is not a particularly good thing to do. And the 7 of chalices can be about decisions. It's about choices. It's about saying, what is it that you really want? What is it that you want to put your focus and your time and your attention into? Because if you look carefully at this card, there's lots of different choices or cups down here, and they all hold something. There is a snake coming out of one of them there as well. But in reverse, it's kind of saying to me at this time, it is best to kind of hang back and not to make any rash, fast moving decisions here, because emotionally we may regret it in the future. Like any decisions that we jump into or make without really giving ourselves time to think of the consequences, possibly of our actions as well here, could end up backfiring on us. So that's how that's coming through, and it's covered by the Eight of Wands, and the Eight of Wands is about communication and messages and talking things through. So this is also the challenge for us at the moment. This is the blocking energy. This is what we need to be aware of. And the Eight of Wands is literally seen as being the card of communication. Messages coming in or messages going out. You may be needing to speak your mind, say how it is that you're feeling. But it's also saying at this time that it may be, again, that feeling, that energy of kind of holding back on something because it's not conducive at this time, with the Seven of Chalices in reverse. So there may also be literally blockages, because this is crossing, it's like going across the way, and it's looking to me a bit like a gate or something that is blocking the energy. So maybe at this time it would be a good time to write things down, because when we write something down, we're actually like getting it out of our mind, out of our mental process, which could also help us to see things clearer, because the Seven of Chalices can also be a card of confusion, fogginess, not seeing the wood for the trees, in fact, is what's just come through here as well. So that could be an energy that we're needing to be aware of at this time. Also, it could be a message here about things not appearing as, not appearing as they are. Like there's more behind it, there's more to it than what we're being seen or allowed to see or be shown. That's another message that's come through. And another reason as well not to jump into anything, not to make any sudden decisions about anything, because there could still be more information that we are needing to hear or needing to learn before we go ahead with whatever it is that we are wanting to do here in our lives. Because actually in our head, and what we are aware of right here, is the Eight of Pentacles, which is in reverse. And the Eight of Pentacles is about putting our time, our energy, our effort into something in order to get the rewards, in order to see something grow. It's about what we put our time and our energy and our effort into. But again, being in reverse, it's kind of saying to me that at this time we may be feeling as though we're not, it feels like not getting the abundance or the rewards or the achievement, the success that we're looking for or hoping for. Pentacles is earth energy. It's very much the physical reality energy. Seeing things in the physical realm. This could also be relating to, at this time, this feeling of of a lack of not having enough, becoming aware that even though we're putting more of ourselves into something, that we're not actually getting back from it what we have been getting back previously, which could also relate to work situations. It could also relate to home situations. It could also relate to working our asses off and not actually getting the, I would say, the success. It feels more like feeling like being drained rather than being given a sense of security and yeah, that sense of abundance, a sense of having enough. It feels like more and more people are becoming aware of this lack of resources. And it doesn't matter how much time and energy and effort we put into looking after things, taking care of ourselves or our job or our family. It just feels like it's this kind of it feels the things are just going into this big black hole down here, which is kind of what I'm seeing these, because if you turn it upside up the right way, that is actually trees there, but it kind of feels as though it's being drained downwards into this big black hole. So the more we put into something, I'm getting here, the more we put into something, the more we try to make ends meet or make resources work for us, the less we're actually gaining here. It literally feels like we're having to put more time and energy in and more effort, but getting less out of it. So having less to spend, less to enjoy, is how that's coming through. And we also have the Four of Pentacles in our past energy here as well, which is interesting because it's half the 8. And the 4 talks about holding on to our resources. Here, if you see the bag that she's got there, it's got the 4 coins and she's kind of clutching it close to her. And this is the energy that's moving away. And it's almost like she's saying, like, you know, this is mine, these are my belongings, this is what I have. And the 4 of Pentacles can be an energy of, it can be an energy of resourcefulness, but it can also be an energy of, again, that kind of lack or that awareness of needing to protect, is how it's coming through. It's like a protection energy here somehow, like a need to protect what we have, a need to take care of the limited amount that we may own, or like having our bank accounts, or, you know, stored away. It's that kind of energy, an energy of it just feels like keeping things safe, looking after ourselves, looking after our families possibly. There was a rune hanging off her ear, and unfortunately I can't quite remember what it is and what it stands for. I will have to look that up later. But this is the energy that's moving away, and it is upright. It's kind of saying to me as well, like, you know, have you been taking notice of the environment around you? Have you been taking notice of what's been going on within your, like, your shopping even? Like when you go out to shop and you're not getting as much in your basket, but you're still paying the same amount of money. It's like, you know, how much attention have you been showing this? Have you just been kind of like ignoring it and carrying on as if everything's normal and everything's going to stay the same? Or have you actually kind of thought about it and taken steps to actually take notice, take steps to, I want to say, to kind of like prepare. Have you prepared, is what this card is saying to me today. Have you prepared for that future? That nest egg is actually how this is coming through. Because underneath, and what we're not so aware of at the moment, is this Page of Swords energy, which is very Gemini energy. And if you look there, there's all these light bulbs that she's holding on to, or she's attached to. And for me, it kind of implies a new ideas coming in, new fresh approach to something. She's actually crossing over here as well. If you see, she's crossing over from this side to this side. So it says to me also that something is being left behind here as we're moving into this new direction. Swords is the mind, it's ideas, it's thinking. She's reading this book as she's going along. She's trusting her steps. She's trusting the path that she's chosen to walk. She's trusting these new ideas that are coming in. And there is a lot of new ideas coming in at the moment as well. It's very much goes with the astrology of what is taking place at the time of this Gemini new moon. And because we've got Uranus very strongly placed still again, being kind of highlighted. Uranus also being to do with electricity as well, which is interesting because we've got the light bulbs up there as well. And Uranus is also the higher conscious mind as well. So this is what this is showing me here as well, that these ideas are coming from a greater understanding or awareness somehow, that they're coming in from a higher consciousness. And that book is very interesting as well, because if you see there, she's actually like, there's lots of little like dots on that card there just above the book. So it's like things are it's either it's interesting because it could work two ways. It could either be that as she's reading those words, it's like they're lifting up off the page and they're kind of going out into the ether, into the kind of the source energy, if you like, for her to create something new and something amazing. Because there's also these kind of wisps of wind around her as well, so there is this kind of energetic element here of it being carried away with the wind, like her dreams and aspirations and inspirations, and which is what the book is holding here for me as well. And also writing and books and spells, because we call writing spelling as well. And I always say that words are spells, which we can either use to kind of bind ourselves with, or others can use to bind us with as well, or we can use them to create our own magic, if you like, our own personal creative worlds in which we manifest what it is that we want in our lives, rather than allowing other people to do that for us. So this is in the kind of underworld of the subconscious, so it's happening on a level that we're not even aware of at this time, which is very, like I was saying, fits really well with the astrology especially. So if you are interested in the astrology, then check that video out as well. We have the Nine of Chalices moving in, which is a great card because it means that our wishes, our dreams, our aspirations and inspirations are turning into emotional emotional, like gratitude is the word that's coming through here. Like things are coming together. If you look there, there's like a rainbow of cups in that card. And the whole thing has like a rainbow kind of setting sun kind of look about it. But the Nine of Chalices is about our hopes and our dreams, our wishes, manifesting in and emotionally making us feel fulfilled, making us feel happy, making us feel that we are on the right path, doing the right thing, we're happy with who we are. And this is an energy that is moving in. And then we have the Queen of Cups down here. The Queen of Cups is in contemplation here. She's somebody who is very insightful, especially when she's up the right way. Again, this very Gemini energy, air energy, the element of air, the thinking, communication. She can be very straight and very to the point about things. She doesn't beat about the bush. She doesn't mess about. She will say it as she sees it. This sword that she has in her hand here as well, she can use to cut through all of the kind of crap that is in the way of getting straight to the point about something. So she can hone in right to the very crux of something. She has that ability to see very clearly. Very perceptive, the Queen of Swords. And this is the energy that we're in at the moment. So this is the energy around us at this time with this new moon in Gemini. This is the new moon in Gemini energy that we are dealing with. It's giving us new clarity, new insight. Very reflective energy as well, because Mercury is still retrograde, although he will be standing direct. He stations direct on the 3rd of June. So he's already slowing right down in the sky, which also means that his energy is actually magnified at this time. So there's a lot of this communicative energy, shall we say, messages, media, education, all third house related themes are very strongly being played out. But also because Mercury is actually in Taurus at this time as well, there is a lot around the kind of financial system and our resources. And we have in the collective awareness at this time Temperance in reverse and the Five of Wands. So Temperance in reverse is kind of saying to me, literally, you can see there he's got like the sun and the moon in his hands here, and of course the sun and the moon come together when we actually have a new moon energy. And there is this beautiful kind of angel energy behind this as well, almost like guidance, but it is in reverse. So it could also be that we're not tuning into that, we're not picking up on that, we're kind of oblivious to a bigger story, shall we say. The narrative, again, very Gemini, the narrative energy. And it feels as though we could kind of be caught up somehow as well in this kind of constant backwards and forwards, which is what the Temperance energy is about, because it also relates to the masculine and the feminine, the heart of the masculine, the heart of the feminine energy, the gold and the silver, the moon and the sun, the divine masculine, divine feminine. There's also a sense of needing to kind of sit back, stand back, give ourselves some time with this energy. With the Five of Wands here as well, there is conflict. Sorry, Five of Wands was up the right way. There is conflict. There is competition. It may just feel as though like everywhere you look there is always somebody trying to outdo somebody else. Struggle, hardship, things not coming together the way they should. Yeah. Lack of teamwork is also what I'm getting here. Lack of bringing things together, because we've kind of been brought up to be very kind of independent and strong on our own, rather than knowing how to work like in a team or community. But this is also conflict within ourselves as well. The Five of Wands. Kind of inner and outer conflict is what I'm getting here. Like the inner conflict reflecting on the outer conflict as well. There is a sense of, deep sense of kind of despair or unhappiness, or almost like, again, kind of stuck in that energy of going round and round and getting nowhere. And when we kind of build something up, it just kind of all falls apart again. It just kind of all like there's always something, a problem, an issue, something that doesn't come together, is how it's feeling. In our hopes and our fears, we have the High Priestess in reverse as well. And the High Priestess is about our inner knowing, our inner trusting, our instincts, our us, who we are on a deep level, our emotions, our emotional guidance system. But because it's in reverse, it's also saying to me that there is this sense of not trusting ourselves, not trusting who we are, where we've come from, where we're going, how we're going to get there. But just also the fact, and that kind of goes with this card, these cards in a way as well, that we've kind of been brought up in a very competitive society. Everything's been very competitive. In order to survive, we've had to, like right throughout history as well, not just now, but in order to survive, we've had to struggle, we've had to go against others. And we learn that very young as well. It's kind of something that we learn from an early age, and it kind of sticks with us throughout our into our adult years as well. That's kind of what this is also implying here. And so we don't really trust ourselves enough, and because we don't trust ourselves enough, we tend not to trust other people as well, or we find it hard to trust other people, particularly when the High Priestess is in reverse. But we do have the ending here with the Page of Chalices. So there is still an open heart, a young, innocent heart that still wants to trust. I'm getting the impression of kind of trusting in the magic, because this is actually a fish. He's holding this kind of vessel here, and this here is a fish. This kind of, it's difficult to see it, but it's a very kind of long looking kind of fish creature. Maybe if I don't hold it quite so close, you'll be able to see it. It's actually got an eye there as well. And the Page of Chalices has this innocence about it. It has this kind of childlike quality that still believes that things can be magical, that things can be can get better, can improve, can, like with kindness and love and a sense of caring for others. There's a gentleness about the Page of Chalices. Being a page, a bit like this page down here, pages need to learn, to experience, to grow. So there's like something, for me it's like a change of something, like a story, something is changing, the storyline is changing. There's an element here of innocence and once again kind of learning to trust in ourselves, trust in our connection, connection to the source. There's something kind of genie-like about that fish as well, like the lamp. This fish coming out of this lamp, like this magic. But he's not, he doesn't look at all shocked or surprised by it. It's almost like he's kind of just accepting it or expecting it. So that's interesting. The water, of course, is emotions, our feelings. And so over the top of the Seven of Chalices and the Eight of Wands here, we have the Hanged Man. So as I was saying, like, this does feel like a time of stepping back, because the Hangman is all about allowing ourselves that space to take a deeper look at something. To get a fresh perspective on something. Because literally by hanging upside down, you see the world in a different way. So this is what the Hangman energy is saying, that there is another way of looking at things. There's another way of looking at the world. Another way of understanding. Of seeing clearly. And of course the Hangman energy is also very perceptive, because it relates to Piscean energy, the Neptune energy, the mystery energy going within ourselves. Because he's literally what's the word here, chosen or allowed himself to be put into this situation. In order to change that perspective, in order to change the way that he sees the world and understands things, and goes about doing things in the world. It's like, you know, if we just keep doing the same thing over and over again, it's like, you know, you just get those same results. So he's going deeper into the spiritual realm, or the unknown realm, in order to find the truth, in order to get more clarity, in order to allow himself to, or herself, ourselves, basically. To change the story, to change the narrative, because it's only by hanging things up, or by letting go, by releasing, which is really what this Hangman energy is about. It's about releasing that past us, who we have been in the past, in order to allow who we are to come through. In many ways it is a card of resurrection as well. And again, it can often involve some kind of pain, sacrifice, having to sacrifice something in order to make space for something new to come in. Because with this card here as well, if we hold on to too much, we can't allow any more to come into our lives. That's another message for the Four of Pentacles as well. And that can also be emotionally as well. Because our emotions affect our physical domain, how we think. It's all affected by our emotions. And the Seven of Chalices is that very emotional energy. too much choice, holding on to too much within ourselves, not seeing the wood for the trees, and having to let go and release in order to make space. And over the top of the Eight of Pentacles and what's in our head and what we're aware of, we have the Three of Wands, which in this deck is called Virtue. Three of Wands, for me, is a card of risk-taking, because it comes after the Two, which is the initial kind of step towards a creative endeavour. So it is similar in the sense of we all have to take a risk. If we don't take a risk, then again nothing changes. If we don't take that risk, then we never know. We don't know what lies around the next corner if we don't take that first step towards a new opportunity, it can be a new move to a new environment where we completely change our sense of identity as well, because when we move to somewhere new, I don't know why this is coming through, but when we move to somewhere new, nobody knows who we are. They don't know our history, they don't know where we've come from, they don't know what we've experienced, they don't know who we have been up to a certain point, the growth, what it is that's kind of made us who we are. It is what's coming through here with this Eight of Pentacles. So there's a sense here of, sorry, my nose is very itchy all of a sudden. There's a sense here of kind of stepping outside of something, stepping outside of the normal. And they're both very orange looking cards as well. You see there's a similarity with these flowers and this whole kind of background here as well, which is kind of relating to the solar plexus and the sacral plexus for me. And the sacral plexus, I do believe it has a lot to do with fear and holding back. Which is what this card has also been saying as well, or these cards here, holding back. But this is fiery and kind of new energy, new creative, pushing things forward. Moving into a new dynamic is what I'm kind of getting here. And also this sense of letting go of who we have been in order to become who we are. And that is a risk. So it feels like we need to accept the risk. We need to allow ourselves to take chances. yeah, take chances, accept risks, take chances, move to new levels of or just move beyond where we've been so far. And I'm also getting kind of not look back as well. Don't look back on what has been. Don't look back on what has been, because that is no longer feeding us. Is also what I'm getting there. And then we've got 3 cards. So we've got the 4 of Pentacles out twice. And this particular 4 of Pentacles is all about power. Power being a particularly big theme at this time in 2022, going through to 2023. Power struggles, power dynamics. Power between those that have and those that don't have, or power over those who don't have. So that's twice. That's interesting as well, because it does 2 4s make the 8 of Pentacles here as well. So there's also a sense of kind of being walled in or bricked in here as well, or having like kind of coming through very strongly as this lockdown energy, actually. Kind of bricked in, walled in. Yeah, with others telling us. If you look here as well, it's very like there's a pathway into this kind of, it's like looking down on a castle or something, with the 4 walls and 4 towers here, and a sense of kind of being caught in something, trapped in something. But also part of a kind of oh, okay, it's literally just come through as like an experiment, as though kind of like being looked in on from above, like being viewed from above, like you would with animals if you're kind of watching animals to see how they behave. What kind of response you're going to get is kind of what's coming through there. And then we have the 2 of Wands, or the 2 of Rods in reverse, and that's interesting because the card reads Dominion. And it kind of fits in as well with each of these, like that one and that one, that one, that one, kind of like dominion over the top of, like having dominion, power over, is how this is coming through as well. Like how easy to just kind of turn off the like the supply chain, shall we say, or the fertilizer resources, and just kind of have everybody like being in one giant experiment, is kind of how it's coming through. is on the end of these wands there as well. There's some quite kind of like ugly faces, shall we say, ugly, evil looking kind of like malicious, not very kind images, like almost demon looking, and it is in reverse as well, so it does feel as though it's kind of like this sense of being controlled from an outside source, because we also have the Eight of Swords here, which the word for that one is interference. So again, it is that sense of being trapped, because that's what the Eight of Swords is about. It's that sense of being held trapped in our own mind state, held in our own mind, and how easy it is for that to happen, as we have just witnessed in this last 2 years. Oops, that card does not want to stay there. But the thing about the Eight of Swords, which is really interesting as well, is that it is all coming from our own mind. It is all our own belief in something. We believe we are trapped, so therefore we are trapped. Again, like I was saying earlier about this book and spells, and how words are spells and how they're used to trap us, or they can be used to free us, to free our mind, or trap our mind, to keep us enclosed and shut down, or to bring us to a space of freedom, sovereignty within ourselves, like our own dominion over ourselves, not giving our power away, which is what this is saying here, is that we have given our dominion and our power away very easily kind of interfered mind-wise. I'm seeing this as kind of mind interference coming in. I also see the swords as those things that they, and I don't like saying the word because it does upset the channel, so those things they like to stick in people's bodies. Is how I also see the sword energy at this time as well, because there's a link between the mind and allowing that to happen as well. So we have underneath all this indolence, which is the Eight of Cups. And the Eight of Cups is also about it's very similar in a way to the Eight of Swords here. Interesting. I'm also seeing, sorry, I didn't sit and stare at that for too long, but I'm also actually seeing that these cups up here and this cup here is actually not being fed by this water, which is coming from these two cups here. So there's an emptiness, something that isn't being fulfilled here, if you can see that, because it's not all flowing down into all of these cups. So there's an empty yeah, an emptiness, like things aren't completely flowing or working together or emotionally satisfying. Because if they were, all of those cups would be flowing, overflowing with water. They would all be feeding each other. So there's a sense here of division, of some being given more than others. Of unfairness as well is coming through there, a sense of unfairness. But I also get the sense that this is kind of the, how can you put it, the awakening that is taking place at the moment is due to people seeing this, seeing the unfairness, seeing that things aren't, like, yeah, as I was saying earlier, things aren't necessarily as they seem. This is very much to me an awakening energy. New creative ideas coming in. Whereas this card, there's a sense of sadness and sorrow and just things not completely connecting. And when I see this card, I see astrologically at this time, I kind of see, and it's got Saturn over the top of it as well, which is quite interesting. Saturn and Pisces at the bottom there. So I see it as this dividing energy. It kind of, for me, it kind of looks like the north-south node energy of going of division of how can you put it, like those that have the wisdom and the knowledge, because that's also water as well. Water does represent like intuitive, instinctual, that psychic realm, that kind of knowing realm, that knowledge realm. It's kind of sharing it with those who are open to it, open to receive it. But there's a lot still that aren't open. And so those that are open enough to receive the wisdom and the understanding and the knowledge and the new ideas that are coming in, they're going to kind of keep feeding each other. Is kind of how that's coming through to me. They're going to keep passing on that wisdom and that knowledge and what it is that they know, while the others are kind of going to be starved out in a way, like starved out in the sense that they don't have that understanding, they don't have that connection with the wisdom and the knowledge and the truth as well is something else that's coming through here. The truth about things, about how things really are. And that is just kind of a natural progression as well, it feels. It doesn't feel as though that's necessarily a deliberate action. It just feels as though if somebody's not open to receiving it, then they're not going to be supported in the same way. And this feels like new, like I was saying earlier, it feels like new energies, new ideas, new creativity flowing from some to those that are open to receive it, but those that aren't open to receive it, it is their choice. It is their choice to stay in that kind of barren, kind of unhappy in a way. Unhappy, unsatisfied place. And we have the Eight of Pentacles or Eight of Discs again. Again, it's in reverse. Again, it feels like going down the way. And again, it gives me that sense of kind of lack of knowledge, wisdom, understanding. It's that same kind of energy as this is what I'm getting. And there'll be those who will be open to receiving what it is that they believe they deserve in a way, their hopes, their dreams, their desires, their passions. And at the same time, there will be those who will, it's kind of like not feed from the tree of life is kind of how I'm seeing this. In reverse, who will kind of wilt on the branches because they're not being fed what it is that they need to know in order to create their happiness. Okay, so the Queen of Swords is covered by yet another pentacle. There's a lot of pentacles coming out. The Nine of Pentacles, which is gain, but it is again in reverse. And this is a card often seen as a card of self-esteem. The Nine of Pentacles, a card of having reached a place of success. But I'm kind of seeing it as like, you know, the question is, or what she's asking herself here is really, what is success? What do we see as being successful? Is it all about monetary gain? And what we can buy with the monetary gain that we have? Going down that path of kind of, again, it's similar to this energy here with this Eight of Pentacles of like draining, where it's all draining out. The more we put into it, the more it's draining out. But this is also coming through with a sense of how can I put this? Like it's all going back to the same source. Like it all goes back to the same place. Like what we earn, we go out, we spend it. So it all goes back to, basically it all goes back to the banks, to the banking families, and the kind of the greed is also what I'm seeing here as well. And of course, interestingly, we've just had them all speaking recently in Switzerland at Davos, deciding for us what they're going to be doing with us. And that's kind of how this card's coming through. It's coming through with a sense of yeah, everything returning to this kind of one point of what are we achieving here? What is it that we are gaining here? Are we gaining anything? Or is it all being fed to like the beast system, shall we say? Because the way it's all been set up, the way it's all kind of connected, interconnected with everything else. If it was upright, then it would be a very positive energy. But it's not, it's in reverse. So there's this sense of her kind of contemplating here the point of it all. Contemplating what have we gained in the long run? What have we gained by following this beast system, by following this kind of power, control over our lives. That's how that's coming through, with this strong sense of like, do we actually gain anything in the long run? Because there's also a sense of like, you know, do we actually even own anything in the long run? Because we can't take any of it with us when we leave, when we move on to the next level, the next dimension. It all gets left here in the physical realm. It is all very physical domain. The only thing we can ever take with us is our soul, our energetic self. And over the top of this we have, over the top of, sorry, the Temperance and the Five of Wands, we have the Magi or the Magus, but it has come out literally like that. So it is over the top, it is across the top of us. And the Magus or the Magi, the Magician, is seen as an energy of manifestation. He works in the energetic realm of bringing things into the physical domain. And I always find it interesting as well, because at the very bottom of that card there is a monkey. It's kind of that monkey mind, that monkey lower level brain mind, which is the kind of Gemini energy that we're dealing with. Like the Uranus energy is the more kind of like higher level energy, as I was saying earlier. And again, the astrology, if you're interested, will give more information on that. But this kind of monkey level mind is kind of, it keeps us at this lower level. It keeps us down here. It stops us from being here. It stops us from being the magus or the magi or the magician. It stops us from being the one that is creating, the creator of our own existence. And again, this goes back to it, this energy here as well, of being told what we can and can't do with our lives, what we should and shouldn't do with our lives. And this Queen of Swords is kind of sitting here, and I feel as though she's kind of rethinking things, contemplating things. Mercury retrograde, very contemplatory energy. But this is over the top of the Temperance card and the Five of Wands, which is this inner conflict. But also here with this Temperance in reverse as well, it's kind of saying to me that this is our sacred masculine feminine energy, if you like, that's not in balance. There's an imbalance here because of all this conflict that we're in. We are imbalanced or unbalanced. And this is also due to the fact that we aren't given all the knowledge that we need or deserve in order to be able to come out of this level of thinking, because we are on the whole still very much stuck in this monkey see, monkey do kind of energy. And it's because of that monkey see, monkey do that we're still here, still being part of the beast system, basically. We're still feeding the beast. Because we've yet to realise our own greatness as part of the source of all that is, ever has been and ever will be. And that kind of comes back to this divide energy here as well, the divide and conquer energy, if you like, where it's much easier to divide and conquer and control through division, interference of the mind, which all starts in our very early youth. And over the top of the High Priestess, we have the Three of Cups, abundance, but again, it's in reverse. So it is kind of saying to me that there is this abundance within us, like it is there. It's kind of waiting for us. Again, I'm seeing this energy as it's very similar to this, feeding, because all of these cups are feeding each other. In fact, they're overfeeding, like there's huge abundance there. Everything is just flowing flowing beautifully from one to the other and back again. It's like this symbiotic energy here, this symbiotic like fulfillment. Each one of these cups is overflowing. And there's a real kind of sense of joy in this card as well, with all these yellow flowers. Whereas this card, if you look at this card, it's very kind of sorrowful looking. There's a big difference between those cards. But it is in reverse with the High Priestess. So it is kind of saying to me that deep down within there is this potential. We all have this potential to be abundant and to feed like that loop, if you like. But first of all, we need to tap into this. First of all, we need to tap into our inner knowing, our inner strength, our inner energetic connection of being Source, of not just being a part of Source, but being Source. Most people say, oh, we are, you know, I'm a part of Source. But we are more than that. We're not just a part, we are Source. Because Source is all there is. That energetic, flowing love is all there is. And it's reconnecting. That's in our hopes and our fears. So there's a part of us that is very fearful of this energy because we've been made to believe possibly that it's bad, it's wrong, it's evil. So we tend to look for our answers outside of ourselves rather than within ourselves. Or trust that we know when we do know, because we don't know necessarily why we know, but we've been told that it's wrong. And the last card we get with the Page of Chalices here is the Five of Swords. And this is not a happy card. Five of Swords is defeat. But that doesn't mean that it's not, or it doesn't mean necessarily that this is our defeat. Because this could also be the defeat of the mind killers, for want of a better word. The mind controllers. Because if there's one thing that these people don't understand, it is the innocence of love and how we love and care for our own, our families, our children. They see this love as a weakness, when in fact it is a strength that they don't understand. Which is why they have to do this instead. So I'm going to actually take this as a positive card and see this more as a defeat of those who want to control and want to hold us back and want to stop us from achieving our own personal awakenings and greatness and discovering who we truly are, which is the path that we are on at this time. I am going to, am I going to pull another card for that or not? Maybe not. Maybe I will just move on to the Angels of Light cards instead and see what they have to say. So I really do feel as though that defeat card is not for a defeat against the human race, shall we say, but more a defeat against those who still believe they have the right to control, subjugate. It's far too many. And limit who we actually are. So very quickly, let's get an Angel of Light card, please. Okay, I'm going to take these ones because they turn out the way. So what do we have? We have celebration, we have hope, and we have joy. So celebration is saying it is time for you to look for the joy, which we also actually have, and the wonder of every day and rejoice in it. When we celebrate the passing events and transitions of life, it is our way of giving thanks, and the angels delight with us. Whenever possible, celebrate with others, for then great energy is raised, which attracts many angels down, drawn by the laughter and lightness to add their blessings. It will bond you happily with others. Angel wisdom reminds you to celebrate and honour all things large or small in your life. And this is kind of that energy here as well. This is to do with celebration, celebratory energy. Find something to celebrate now. And the affirmation here is, my life is a celebration. Very positive energy. It's about looking to the positive rather than dwelling in that negative. Keeping the energies high, lifting the energies up. Hope. Hope indicates that the sun is about to come out in an area of your life. The angel wisdom reminds you that your spirit is immensely resilient and powerful, so keep faith with your dreams and visions. Remember, the universe wants you to have your heart's desire, which is this energy here. It is simply waiting for you to believe you deserve it before the angels bring it to you, which is something that I was saying earlier, I think, about deserving it. Do your part by deciding that you truly want, then send out positive thoughts. That's this energy here. That's the Seven of Chalices here. Choose what it is that you actually want. Stop seeing the wood for the trees. And maybe wait for Mercury to station on the 3rd before so though. So it is simply waiting for you to believe you deserve it. Do your part by deciding that you truly want, then send out positive thoughts for the changes you seek and for the fulfillment of your wishes. Ask the angels for help and they will fan the sparks of potential and bring them to life. Hope is a magnificent quality which attracts the great and beautiful into your life. And the affirmation for that is, I am eternally optimistic. And lastly, we have joy. Joy springs from a sense of connection to the divine and is a quality which illuminates you. Your angel guidance is to cultivate this quality by seeking the divine in every situation. Look beyond the surface and seek the light in your heart. And in the heart of each person. Then you will become aware of the wonder of creation, and joy will ignite your life. Delight in everything, for joy is a key to enlightenment. Enjoy life. And the affirmation is, I find joy in everything. So that is where I'm going to leave this reading for today, and say thank you very much for coming over and watching it and listening to what I have to say. If you have enjoyed it, if you have found anything of any interest or learnt anything through it, then please could you thumbs it up for me, because that makes such a huge big difference to my channel, which is something that I'm really trying to do, is to get more people to like my videos. I've recently discovered as well that my channel cannot actually be found on YouTube. When you put in the title Inspiring Life Changes, it doesn't come up, so that's quite interesting. So please also could you share my videos with other people, those who you think may find it interesting, or may want to subscribe to my channel. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please could you also do that as well, because that also helps me to grow my channel and to get my messages out there, particularly at this time of everything's happening in the world and all the craziness that we're going through. Also, for those of you who have subscribed to my channel, thank you very much. I really do appreciate it. Enjoy your company and having you here. And if you want to comment on any of my videos and just let me know how you feel about what it is that I have to say, then also please feel free to do that. For anybody who's interested in the cards that I'm using here, there will be a description, a description in the box down below. You know what I mean. And also there will also be, for anybody interested in their own natal chart as well, and finding out more about their own astrology, there will be a link to a free natal link in the description box down below as well. So thank you all once again. Please enjoy this new moon in Gemini energy, and hopefully I will see you in the second part of this two-part video when I do the astrology, which is going to be slightly different to usual as well. So thank you again. Please take good care of yourselves. Bye for now.